Welcome back, children, to the second part of our revision session of Class 10, Chapter 1, Power Sharing. I hope, children, you all remember the content that we have covered in the first part of the revision session. There, we had seen the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. Then, we had also covered with the topic majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Right, children? Now, when we were going through the ethnic composition in Belgium, we had seen why there was a tension between the French speaking and the Dutch speaking people. We had come across with a situation that the Dutch speaking people were in majority in the country but were in minority in the capital, that is in Brussels. And the situation is vice versa with the French speaking people in Belgium. Now, in today's session, we will see how the policy of accommodation helped to resolve this tension in Belgium. Then we will see what similarities and the differences were there in Belgium and Sri Lanka. We will also cover with why power sharing is desirable and what forms of power sharing are there. Right, children? Let us first see the accommodation in Belgium. Now, in Sri Lanka, children, you have noticed that the powers, the benefits of education, the government jobs, etc. concentrated only in the hands of the majority community in Sri Lanka, and that is Sinhalese. And this majoritarianism led to the civil war, wherein thousands of people were killed and many of them they had to flee to the neighboring countries. But when the leaders in Belgium they recognized the existence of the regional differences, the government in Belgium realized that it has to take certain measures. So, between 1970 and 1993, around 4 amendments were done in the constitution to accommodate the diversity of Belgium. So, the important measures that were taken were, first of all, the Dutch and the French speaking leaders had equal shares in the central government. Children, when we talk about the federal government, we have the central or the union government and the state government. Now, in the center, the Dutch people were in majority. So, what did the Dutch people do is that they gave up their majoritarian attitude and they recognized the right of the French people also. Thereafter, they got equal representation in the central government. Now, in reaction to this, the French people agreed for equal representation for the Dutch also in the state level. Because we all know that in Brussels, the capital city, French were in majority. But they also reciprocated to the favor the Dutch people showed to them and agreed for equal representation in Brussels. Now, the second measure was the power was given to the state government also. So, there were certain measures which only the state government can take for their state. The power was not only concentrated in the center but was equally divided between the center and the state. Now, there was also a third form of government known as the community government. The community government helped in avoiding the civic disputes among the communities. Now, how was this possible? The community government was a type of government in which a particular language speaking people will only vote, and the role of this government is to take care of the cultural, social, and the political rights of that particular language. Children, this seems to be very complicated and very inclusive. But all these measures helped Belgium in avoiding the conflict, which would otherwise have been between the Dutch speaking and the French speaking in Belgium. Even when the European Union was made, Brussels, the capital city of Belgium, because of its diversity and the inclusivity, it was chosen as the headquarter of the European Union. So children, what do we learn from the case study of Sri Lanka and Belgium is that though both the countries are the democratic countries, but refusing the power sharing and supporting the power sharing can lead to the different outcomes. Like in Belgium, we saw that the government was accommodating. The leaders, when they realized that the unity of the government is, the unity of the country is possible only by respecting the feelings and the interest of the different communities and the regions. So when they realized this, the power is shared between the two communities, that is the Dutch and the French speaking. So there the outcome was good. But in contrast to that, in Sri Lanka, we saw that the majority of the Sinhala speaking community refused to share the power with the minority Tamil speaking community. And the outcome was the disunity in the country, the breaking of civil war in the country. Therefore, we can conclude that the power sharing is very important essential factor in a democratic country. Now let us see why power sharing is desirable. The first reason is a prudential reason, that it reduces the possibility of conflicts between the social groups. Like in Belgium, we have seen that when the power is shared between the two communities, then the conflicts in the society is reduced. But if the power sharing doesn't take place, then it will lead to social conflicts. The power concentrated in the majority community is not a good idea for a long run in democracy. Another reason why power sharing is desirable is it is a good way to ensure the stability of the political order. Now, how is it possible? In democracy, the government is by the people, for the people, and of the people. Then it means that we have to give equal representation, equal rights to all the sections of the society. And how we can do that? It is possible by sharing the equal political rights to all the sections of the society. And it is the moral reason of the power sharing. So power sharing is the spirit of democracy. So children, we can conclude that power sharing can reduce the social conflicts. It is an important essence and the spirit of democracy, because the citizens of the country can participate in the power making, or they have the power in the decision making in the system. Now the question is, how do we actually share the power, or power sharing is done in democracy. In a democratic government, the power has to be shared among the different organs of the government to have a balanced government, and that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. Now, everyone has equal power with their own jobs to fulfill, and it is called as a horizontal form of power sharing, as though the work is independently done by everyone, but all the three, that is the legislative, executive, and judiciary, keep a check on each other. Now, the next form of power sharing is the power is shared among the governments at the different levels. That is the federal form of government, wherein it is made sure that the power is not concentrated only with the union or the central government, but it is divided at the different levels of the government. That is the state government, and the third level is added by the 73rd and 74th Amendment. And thereafter, we have the local government also. Now, the local government is different for the urban areas with municipalities, and is different for the rural areas with panchayat. Now, this kind of power sharing is called as the vertical distribution of power. Now, the third form of power sharing is among the different social groups. Children, as we all know that democracy is all about people. That is, people are the heart and soul of democracy. So all the social groups, whether they belong to some religions, to some linguistic groups, or whether they belong to majority or minority, or whether they belong to vulnerable or not, the government needs to keep their rights secured. Now, how is this done? It is done by giving them equal representation in the power sharing. In some countries, even women get their rights. And in some countries, it is reserved for the different social groups, or we can say for the socially weaker section. Like in India, we have certain number of seats reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward class, and even for the women in the parliament. Now, this is how the power is shared among the social groups in India. The power is also shared among the political parties, pressure groups, and the movements. Now, if we talk about the political parties, it is always desirable to give a choice to the people in a democracy. Now, how do we give this political choice? It is done by having different political parties. Children, if there is only one political party, then how do we make sure that there is a balance of power? No, it cannot be done. So, the power is shared among the different political parties, and it is even done in the coalition government, where not one single party who is in majority is forming the government, but different political parties are coming together to form a government. So here the citizen of the country has a choice to select the political party as per their interest. Next we can say about the pressure groups. Now these pressure groups, they do not contest any election, but they form a bridge between the citizens and the government. So, the pressure groups and the movements are equally important in the democratic country to keep a check on the working of the government. So, children, here in the forms of the power sharing, here you have learnt about the horizontal distribution of power with legislature, executive and judiciary. You have also learnt the vertical form of power sharing, wherein you found the power is shared between the central or the union government, the state government and the local government. Next, the power is shared between the different social groups. And last but not the least, the power is also shared between the political parties, the pressure groups and the movements. I hope children, all the concepts are very clear to you. Yes children, now it is our quiz session, our question answer part, right? We will see how much you all remember the content of part 1 and part 2 of our revision session. The first question here is, in which parts of Sri Lanka do the Sri Lankan Tamilians mainly live in? Do they live to the north and the east of the country? Do they live in the north and the west of the country? Or do they live to the south and the east of the country? What is your answer, children? They live to the north and the east of the country. Yes. Now the next question is, country A takes all political decisions after carefully calculating the pros and cons, that is advantages and disadvantages of that decision. What kind of decision does it take? Is it an impulsive decision? Is it a moral decision? Is it a prudential decision or a dominating decision? It is a prudential decision, because we have seen what does this mean. It means that whatever the political decisions are taken by the government of the country, it should not create any conflict in the country. Yes children, right, among the people. Yes. Now the next is, which of the following statements are correct? Is it, our constitution clearly lays down the powers of different levels of the government? Does the system of calling regional government by different names is followed by all the countries? Or in India, the regional government is known as the central government? So what is your answer, children? It is, our constitution clearly lays down the powers of the different levels of government. We have seen, right, the different forms of the government. That is the horizontal, wherein we have seen legislative, executive and the judiciary. Then we have seen the vertical form of power sharing, that is the union or the central government, state government, and then the local government, right? And then we have also seen that the powers are also shared among the different social groups. Not only that, among the political parties, among the pressure groups and also the movements, right? Yes. Now the next question is, in modern democracies, the power sharing arrangements can take many forms. Is it true or false? Does it take different forms, children? Yes, it does. Just now I told you, right? Okay, now the next question. Which of the following statements are correct? That is, in a democracy, political power is distributed among as many citizens as possible. Or power sharing arrangements cannot take any forms. Or is it correct that the power is shared among the different organs of the government, such as legislature, executive and the judiciary? Or in a democracy, people cannot rule themselves. So which statements are correct, children? The first one is correct, right? In a democracy, the political power is distributed among as many citizens as possible. That is the reason why we have different political parties, n number of political parties, right? Okay. Then, the power is shared among the different organs of the government, such as legislature, executive, and the judiciary, right? Yes. Then, now the next one. Who is the source of all political power in a democratic setup? Is it the Prime Minister, the President, government, or the citizens? It is none other than the citizens. Just now we have seen that the citizens are the heart and the soul of the democratic government. Right, children? Yes. So, children, I hope you all are thorough with whatever the contents we have covered in the both the parts of the revision session. You can go through the explanation sessions of this chapter as well as you can follow the revision parts of this chapter. Right, children? Prepare for your exams very well, right? Till we meet in the next class, take care, children, and have a good day. Thank you so much.